It's MJB at Apex House. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Simon Parker. I'm the co-ordinator of Down Not Out News Agency, and also I edit Citizen's Eye.
Can you tell me what Down Not Out is and the kind of work it does?
Yeah, Down Not Out News Agency was created out of a partnership between local charity Action Homeless and Citizen's Eye Community News Agency in Leicester to create a news agency for and by people who have experienced homelessness, are homeless or are vulnerably housed.
What has been your experience of being coordinator of Down Not Out since you took over last January?
Well, it's been a roller coaster ride, Maxine. It's been really busy. We've had a lot to do. We're making lots of changes. Previously it was more magazine focused, but this year we're changing it more into developing the website, so having more of a web presence. So we're redesigning that at the moment. We're just about to publish our first newspaper, Down Not Out newspaper, which I'm very excited about. And also we've only recently started probably the most exciting thing for me, which was DNO, which is the radio aspect of Down Not Out News Agency. So my experience has been really good. It's been fantastic working with people who are, vulnerably housed, homeless, and or having experienced homelessness, to realise that they totally debunk the kind of preconceptions about homelessness, and there's a massive amount of talented people who for many reasons have found themselves in very difficult situations in their lives. And it's great that Down Not Out gives an opportunity to people to have their say back. So one of the main things since January in terms of media has been the potential changes in homeless services by Leicester City Council. So in terms of news, I've come in at a really good time because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people protesting about it, a lot of groups making comments about it, and a lot of those groups have been generating their own news, like Street Life Action Group have been doing great stuff, The Rough Sleeper with Tony Evans, and James McLean of Homeless Not Worthless, who's only this week had an article published on the Guardian website, which is a major coup and great to hear. And I've got James coming on DNO, which I'm going to from this today to talk about that. So very busy.
Recently you started a radio show. Can you tell me how it's gone so far and the kind of things you've covered on the show?
Well, I got ahead of myself there, Maxine, didn't I, talking about that as one of the things we've developed. Well, the interesting thing about radio, and I think it surprised a lot of us, is that it's been the aspect of Down Not Out that has got seemingly the most interest the most quickly. Now, I think that's possibly because radio is very immediate. People can get up there, get what they say over, they don't have to go away, write an article, write a film, edit it, they can have their say, it's out there straight away, and it can be used for other media as well. So the shows have been going really well. I mean, to start with, we didn't really have any plans. The first week of the radio show, I said to people involved in Down Out, what do you want to do? Do you want to do some formal radio training, or do you just want to start the show? And we decided that on the Tuesday, and on Thursday we turned up at Panchpani Radio, which hosts it, and we did a 4-hour radio show with no scripts from scratch. So it went pretty well, and since then it's been developing. The main reason why we're doing it is to get people confidence, and to, one thing I've realised, that if people go on the radio, they get a lot of confidence very quickly. So the shows have been developing. At the moment we do a news show, so we'll look at news that's been created about kind of the homeless, that affects homeless people. And this week it's been mainly around changes in benefits, the bedroom tax, how that's affecting people, the fact that people are already being given eviction notices in some of the trial areas. So we'll look at news in the mainstream news and give our personal slant on it, because the people involved in Down Not Out do have experience of that, and they are speaking from a position of expertise. But we also like to inject a bit of fun into it as well. So we have our Frog Island Discs show, which is modelled on a famous BBC radio show of a similar name, which gives local people a chance to choose their Frog Island discs, while also gives us the chance to talk about issues that they've been involved with. So we've had some really interesting guests so far, and on today's show we've got Nathan Human of Citizen 598, who is going to be talking about Home Truths exhibition, which he did with Action Homeless, which was to look at the perceptions and misconceptions about homelessness in Leicester. So yeah, very exciting.
What's the future of Down Not Out?
Interesting question that, Maxine, a really interesting one, because it is funded for this year up until the end of December by the big lottery, and after that it's basically the decision of the CEO of Action Homeless, Rob Parkinson, as to decide whether it's been worth doing, whether his charity gets things out of it, whether the people involved in it have made kind of strides forward, and where that fits in with that charity going forward. And there's discussions as to whether it should be part of Action Homeless and what benefits that would bring to DNO and disadvantages it would bring, but also does it help that Down Not Out remains independent and as an independent voice of homelessness. So discussions are ongoing on that, but I think considering the amount of kind of attention it's been getting, both locally and nationally now, it could be sustained going forward. I mean, even today on the radio, Andy Morris, who's a disability campaigner and Ray DNO presenter, who's had some experience of homelessness in the past, he's got an academic coming up from Brunel University, Sharon Lockyer, who's going to be doing some investigations into comedy and disability. And she's also interested in Down Not Out as a station in itself, because she's got a wider brief at Brunel University to look at, she lectures in sociology or social work and communications. So that should be a very, very interesting show today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maxine.